Sleep came easy to Yin that next day after she had cleaned herself up and after telling Kokushibo of what had been on her mind. Her consciousness felt so much clearer. She hated how a story ended, how most of the demon's story ended, and she wished to relay that to him. Unfortunately, all too soon did Kokushibo come knocking again on her door to escort her to the training room to face off against Hantengu. Yawning as she sat up and stretched, she didn't have time to process anything for another second as she was teleported to where Hantengu was waiting. She let out a slow sigh. I can get no breaks, huh? Standing up, she met Kokushibo's eyes, which he then quickly averted, considering their conversation the other day. With her brows drawing and her lips tilted downwards into a frown, Yin then faced a trembling Hantengu. The short and frail man looking as thin and skeletal as ever. He crouched low to the ground with terror and fear permitting his wrinkled expression, his slanted eyes showing the same emotion. I remember his fight against Tanjiro, Genya, Nezuko, and Mitsuri. He split into 4 main emotions. I'm gonna butcher all of them. Senkendo, his anger. Karuku, his relaxation. Azitsu, his sorrow. And Yogari, his joy, and Sekedo later absorbed the other emotions to transform into Zo Hakuten, Hantengu's hatred. There was also Yurin, an identical yet larger version of Hantengu that perfilates his resentment. Can I really beat him? I'll be fighting against a group with multiple ranges of abilities and attacks, from lightning to a piercing screech. So, how do I win? Feeling a cold bead of sweat trace down her spine as the thought of what would happen to her if she wasn't careful. She then assumed a fighting stance, with her fists raised and her eyes narrowed. And Tengu immediately raised his own hand to cover his face, while a small, rather pathetic scream came from his lips. Please, don't bully me. He cowered away from her as if the roles were reversed and she were the demon in front of a human. That's right. He was cowardly and delusional by nature, always thinking that he was the victim. Should I attack first? That's only going to promote him to split off from each other. There's too many variables. Whatever. Disregarding his pleas for her not to harm him, Yan ran towards him and promptly twisted around to kick him away like he weighed nothing at all. Not hesitating for even a second longer, she launched herself to where he had landed and kicked him again, doing this over and over until finally a hand grabbed her ankle and threw her forcibly into the opposite wall with a resounding crash. You seem to be having fun, don't you? Oh God, I hate this part. Sekendo. Karuka explained from the looks of it, the emotion of relaxation, having light green eyes, dark hair that fell off his shoulders, 2 horns growing from his forehead, cracked markings under his eyes, and a hanaka pants with 2 slash-like accessories on both shoulders. Don't leave me out now. I'm not having fun. Sekendo snapped back, he having a similar appearance to Karuka, save for his eyes being red and half floral and dark-colored kimono he wore. This fucking pisses me off. Stop being a bitch. In an instant, Sekendo sliced off his head, and then Karuku's own, so that they had been divided even more. Soon enough, their heads growing back, whilst 2 other separated bodies were made. Now, there were the 4 emotions in total that Hantengu had spawned together in the room. Yin took a step back, her eyes darting from each demon as she tried to figure out what move she should take next. The one that grew from Sekendo and Asukto, his eyes a light blue and wearing a black kimono with the ends tucked into his hanaka pants, a rope tied around both shoulders that swayed with each movement he made. The one from Karaku was Orgi, his eyes a pale yellow and also wearing nothing but a hanaka pants. But this time it was being tied together with a band of pearls around his waist. He also possessed a bird-like physiology in the form of 2 large wings on his back and claws in place of feet and hands. All were different, but still all possessed the kanji of upper rank 4 in their eyes. "Aw, this is gonna be no fun!" Orogu whined in disappointment after scanning the girl up and down. "Trying to battle a human as weak as her? I thought this was gonna be a fun challenge." "I agree with Orogu," Aizu hummed, he too giving in a blank stare. "I can tell she's pitifully weak." "What the shit? They haven't even started fighting me yet, and they're already insulting me? Seriously?" Feeling her brow twitch in annoyance, Yin flinched when Urugi came flying down at her, jumping swiftly out of the way before he could snatch her up with his talons. "Ooh," he chuckled in amusement. "Maybe this will be more enjoyable than I thought." As soon as those words slipped past his lips, all 4 of the emotions attacked Yin at once. Seoto used his staff thing, I forgot the name of it. His staff tipped with metal rings, a genuine lightning at her, while Karoku used his maple leaf fan, to generate wind to strike and set lightning down upon her in one grand swoop. And all the while she was trying to avoid this, she was also trying to avoid Oguri's aerial attacks and Hantengu's more logical and thoughtful attacks with his spear, a blade with straight, flat design resembling a double-edged dagger. They soon drove Yin into a corner by stunning her with lightning and driving the spear straight through her stomach. As she laid there bleeding out on the floor, the last thing she saw was their approaching figures bending into one. And then she blacked out. It's time for Toagawa Era Secret. Yin, aka also me, finds Hantengu's 4 emotions really attractive, and kind of wishes they held the main Upper Moon 4 position instead of Hantengu. Hantengu's 4 emotions were a bit surprised that Yin was able to last as long as she did fighting against them, considering she had no weapon and was not well trained. Yin can't really choose which one of Tengu's emotions is her favorite. Also me. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I love you all so much. Bye. Mwah.